All right, thank you, Caitlin, with that national anthem. James Nasser here with you live from Wichita, Kansas, as the Lemurs taking on the Wichita Wingnuts. I apologize for the late start. Again, having some issues with everything here. I think trying to switch over to that audio only and then coming back, I don't know. It was having issues going live, but we've got it going live now. That's the good news. Here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, home of the Wingnuts. Tonight, the Laredo Lemurs coming in on a 4-game winning streak to take on the host Wingnuts. And while the PA announcer threw a little shade the Lemurs' way here when they announced the teams earlier, they said, welcome the visiting Laredo Lemurs and your defending South Division champion Wingnuts, just completely dismissing the Lemurs American Association title that they won last year after having won the wild card. So we'll take a look at your lineups here today. The Lemurs, the visiting team, they'll be batting first. So let's take a look at their batting order. They will be led off by Ty Morrison in left field. J.D. Pulfer batting second. He's at shortstop. Travis Danker is at third, batting third. Dennis Phipps, the cleanup hitter. He's the designated hitter tonight. Batting fifth at first base, Abel Nieves. Drew Martinez is in center field, batting sixth. In the seventh spot, Matt Coach. He is catching. Batting eight is Reggie Wilson. He's out in right field, and the 9-hitter at second base, Alvaro Rondon. And on the mound for the Lemurs, it'll be Alejandro Ardiega, just signed the other day. So, again, that's Morrison, Pulfer, Danker, Phipps, Nieves, Martinez, Coach, Wilson, and Rondon. For the Wingnuts, it'll be Christian Stringer, Zach. Well, let's go through their defensive alignment here in a minute, but they'll be on the hill, be Anthony Capra, making a start for the Wingnuts here tonight, his third of the year. 0-0 with an ERA of a 3.00. Ty Morrison, left-handed batter against a left-handed pitcher. We'll see what Morrison does here. First pitch, Morrison swinging, and he fouls it away. 0-1. Morrison on the year. Second on the team in batting average. Well, he's second behind Dennis Phipps, who's only played 3 games. So Morrison, with his 10 games, certainly has a lot more at-bats than Phipps does. With his .293 batting average, the pitch squared around, pulls back. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Morrison on the year with that .293 average has 3 RBIs, no home runs. He also has 2 stolen bags on the season. Lefty-lefty matchup. Capra's going to wind. Coming in at third is Cox, and as he prepares for a potential bunt, Morrison fouls him away. 1-2 the count now on Morrison. So your defensive alignment, you have on the mound, Anthony Capra. Behind the plate, Brent Dean. The pitch, Dean catches it just off the plate away, 2-2. Over at third base, you have Zach Cox. At shortstop, Leo Vargas. At second, Christian Stringer. And at first, Dustin Geiger. Now the 2-2 pitch to Morrison. It'll come inside and hit him in the back. So the 2-2 pitch gets away from Capra. Morrison flings the bat towards the first base dugout where the Lemurs are residing as he heads over to first base. I'm sure that one hurt. The outfield left to right, you have TJ Middlestad in left, Harrison Kane in center, and in right field, Richard Prigatano. And the Wingnuts are managed by Pete Rose Jr. Yes, he is the son of the both famous and infamous Pete Rose. Of course, Pete Incaviglia, the manager for the Lemurs. So a pair of Petes in this series managing these 2 ball clubs. To the plate, J.D. Pulfer. Right-handed hitter against a left-handed batter over at first, Morrison. The pitch up high. It'll actually tip off the glove of Dean, and Morrison is going to go to second on the wild pitch. So already a runner in scoring position for the Lemurs, and a 1-0 count to J.D. Pulfer, who's batting second in the lineup today. Pulfer batting .175 on the year through 10 games. Has 3 RBIs, 2 doubles, no home runs. We'll see if maybe he tries to push the runner over to third with a bunt, but he's actually been hitting pretty well as of late. He had he's 0 for 3 yesterday, but he had a sack bunt. He had a hit, a double, an RBI double, and a run scored the game before. He fouls a pitch off right side and out of play, count 1-1. He had a hit and a run scored in game 1 of the series against the Texas Airhogs. And then he had a hit and a walk in the final game against the Winnipeg Goldeyes. He's been hitting the ball a little better as he keeps improving game to game here this season. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Pulfer. He'll get it around here and pretty soon, I think. The pitch up high, it'll be 1 ball or 2 balls and 1 strike. Give you your umpiring crews here, and in just a second. After this next pitch from Anthony Capra, the lefty for the Wichita Wingnuts. He's been at the Wingnuts for a while. The pitch taken on the outside corner at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes, count evens up. Your umpires tonight, Mike Gardner is behind the plate. Over at third base, Kurt Brannon. And at first base, A.J. Chalk. Capra sets on the hill. Looks over at second and fires plate where the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball left side towards the hole. Vargas going to have to backhand and throw across the infield on a hop. And it is just in time to get Morrison, or to get Pulfer. Boy, that ball slowed down, it seemed, in the air. It took one bounce to Geiger. And just in time to get Pulfer for out number 1. Morrison with that ball taking Vargas towards the third base bag. He was unable to advance on the ground out. So a different umpiring crew. I was told we'd have the same one that we had in Grand Prairie, but apparently that is not the case. We have a different crew. Which is fine. I don't really care. And, Pete's going to have Pete Incaviglia, not Pete Rose Jr., Lemurs manager. He's going to come out and have a chat with the first base umpire, A.J. Chalk, after that last call. And Chalk, spelled C-H-O-C. It's kind of like chocolate, half of it. But Pete's going to have a talk here. Certainly, probably is not looking to get tossed this early in the ball game. So he'll head back to the dugout after a little conversation. It was a bang-bang play over at first base, and I thought Pulfer might have beat it. It was very, very close. And certainly, Pete's going to go out and stick up for his players out there. Always having their back. So to the plate, the third batter in the order, Travis Danker. He swings at the first pitch, hits one high in the air, deep down the left field line. At the warning track, the wall leaping is the left fielder, Brent Cleveland, but it goes foul, just barely missing the home run was Danker. He probably hit that about 3 feet to the left of the 338 sign down the left field line, and that foul pole just missing it. And Cleveland had a shot at robbing the foul ball, and boy, Danker just missed. So 0-1, it's just a long strike to Danker. The count. Danker, who's been on fire for the Lemurs lately, pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, runner on first. And Danker's the strikeout beer batter of the night. It's always one of my favorite things they do here in Wichita. They have the strikeout beer batter of the night. So if the batter strikes out, people get discounted beer pitched into the turf. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count to Danker. So fans always cheering for a strikeout for that batter. Capra appearing in. 2-1, the count to Danker, who leads the team in home runs right now with 3. The pitch. Danker taking outside for a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. So now he has a pretty friendly count for him. 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Also leads the team in RBIs. He has a .225 batting average right now through 10 ball games. But he's been big here lately with the RBIs and the pitch called a strike over the heart of the plate, 3-2. With the RBIs and the home runs really heating up over the last handful of ball games. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count. Runner on second base, that's Ty Morrison. We're in the top of the first inning. Lemurs and Wingnuts still scoreless. Danker's trying to change that here with a payoff pitch from Anthony Capra. Inside, Danker moved the bat, and the home plate umpire is going to ring him up himself. I don't think Danker realizes that's strike 3. He's headed to first base. Either that or he's just doing out of protestation. That ball almost hit Danker. He moved the bat slightly. Danker's over at first base taking his gloves off. He can't believe it as Mike Gardner, the home plate umpire, made the call himself, and Pete cannot believe it either. He's coming out of the dugout. He already took the hat off of his head, then put it back on, but he he put the hat on lightly on top of his head. He didn't pull it snug down, so it's just kind of resting on top of his head, making his head a couple inches taller, and the brim kind of coming over his eyes as he is trying to explain to Mike Gardner what happened there, or what he thinks happened. But Pete's going to stay in the ball game. He'll head back to the dugout. So a couple of very close calls, which right now are the difference between 2 outs, runner on second, and no outs, bases loaded. You have a bang-bang play at first, and then a very close a check swing that they said went through the zone for strike 3 on Travis Danker. There's now 2 outs. Dennis Phipps to the plate. First pitch to Phipps, a called strike, 0-1. Phipps has played in 3 games with the Lemurs. He joined right before that the series in Grand Prairie against the Texas Airhogs. And in that series, he hit 400 with 2 doubles, a triple, 3 runs batted in, a swing and a miss. Count 0-2 to Phipps now as Capra works ahead of him. 0-2. Capra comes into the ballgame with his 2 starts. He has an ERA of a 3.00, an 0-0 record. 12 innings pitched. He's given up 4 runs. He's walked 11, also has 11 strikeouts to 9 hits. The pitch in the dirt for a ball, 1-2. Well, when I say dirt, it's not really dirt. It's turf. This whole field, except for the pitcher's mound, is turf. We kind of had the same situation in Grand Prairie where the whole field, except for the pitcher's mound and home plate, and the home plate circle were turf. But here, the home plate circle is also turf. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And down goes Phipps on strike swinging. We go to the bottom of the first. Lemurs strand a runner on second. A few controversial calls hurt the Lemurs that inning, but it's still scoreless. Here's we go. Bottom of the first in Wichita.
Hey, Wingnut fans, turn your attention to the left field corner. Out onto the field. It's the Wingnuts Night Crusher. And it's carrying a
Right. Sign up for a Gold's Gym membership. You'll get tons of extra. Completely free. Confidence. Free. Compliments from your coworkers. Free. And the desire to wear tiny bathing suits. You guessed it.